Alright guys, the new Yu-Gi-Oh game is finally here, Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega. So, first off, I'll give you guys a full tutorial, but one important thing with this is I want you guys to watch the full video in its entirety because I will explain how some of the mechanics work, as there are some things that are going to be newer features that you guys will definitely want to know. So, first things first, I will go ahead and show you guys how to download and install the actual game, and then I'll go ahead and go over basically what is the most important thing with this newer Yu-Gi-Oh game. So, first things first, check the pinned comment. It will have the link to the forum for Yu-Gi-Oh Omega as well as the Discord server. It will connect with your Discord, and that's how it's going to track your ranking. So, anyways, first things first is obviously downloading the game. You can visit the website via going to the Discord, which again, everything will be linked in the pinned comment. But again, I must stress this. Watch the entire video because you may get confused or stuck at a certain point and you might not know how to do a certain thing. You might not like how the certain game looks, but you can change it, and I'll get into everything, okay? Because I always get asked, how do you do this, how do you do this? And it's in the exact same video tutorial that someone else watched. So, first off, to go ahead and download, once you go ahead and visit Discord or whatever link that you guys decide to use, you will go ahead and download it for either Windows or Linux. There might be other plans for other platforms in the future, but this is what's available right now. Another very important thing with this is you have to make sure you meet the minimum system requirements. This is not like Windows 98 with Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro where everything runs on a potato. You will have to require at least 3 or 4 gigabytes of storage. It will use HD cards, and it will require you to have a certain amount of like RAM or something. Most of these minimum system requirements are totally fine, but it is a larger file size compared to the other Yu-Gi-Oh! Applications, as again, this is going to be much nicer. It's more of a next-gen game. So after you go ahead and download it, you will have to unrar the file, and then you're going to go ahead and actually open up the installer. Here's basically what it will look like. So I have it in this folder right here, and then all I would do is go ahead and open it up, and you'll see that it'll pop up and it'll ask me to go ahead and install it. So we'll go ahead and walk through everything. The reason why I'm going to go through everything here is just because I want it to be as thorough as possible. So next up, we'll just go ahead and hit accept and install, and then it's going to go ahead and actually install the application, and it'll take, like, you know, depending on your computer's speed, it might take a minute or two over here. But again, it will use HD card artwork. This is a question that I get asked all the time. How do you make your cards look in HD? Well, in this, they'll all be in HD, and there's going to be multiple different variants of the card artwork. So if you prefer certain variants of the card art, it will be there. So once we go ahead and do that, we'll go ahead and just click on finish, and then it'll go ahead and actually open up the updater.exe. Now, one thing that is important, it will use your Discord as well. So when you see this, don't worry, it'll go ahead and actually update the game. It'll take a minute or two. Again, this is more so dependent on your internet connection speed, but it's going to go ahead and go all the way over there. It'll go ahead and apply the update, and then it'll go ahead and actually open up. Now, I don't have like a perfect overlay for this, but now that it's going to go ahead and update the game itself after going through the install files, this is going to take a little bit of time, so I'm going to go ahead and just fast forward, but you don't need to do anything at the screen. Just chill, you'll be okay. Alright, so once you go ahead and have all the files installed and it's updated, you'll be greeted with the opening screen, which will go ahead and allow you to connect your Discord so you can go ahead and track your ranking. I know the first thing you guys want to do is hop right into the deck manager and you guys want to see the gameplay of it, and I will show you guys everything. But I do want to stress one more time, watch this entire video simply because there are so many features with this newer game that you guys might be confused or you might not actually know about, and you're like, oh my gosh, that feature is so amazing. Just watch the whole video. I promise it'll make your life so much better. So hopping right into the deck manager really quick, I'll go and show you guys kind of the interface. So you'll have a few decks to start off with when you go ahead and have the application installed. I'm just going to go ahead and open up this dinosaur one, and you guys can see kind of how the interface looks. Now, one important thing is to go ahead and change the way that the cards look. This is a question that gets asked all the time. How do you have your cards look like this versus another thing? You just go ahead and click on the cog wheel, which is the settings. You'll see that there are several different layouts. I'm not sure what the default one is because I have technically been playing this game since the earlier versions of it, but now we're finally in open beta, so keep in mind just in case there's anything here. It's still in beta, but it is now open beta. So I'm going to go ahead and click standard, which you guys are probably familiar with, and make sure you guys go ahead and hit the apply button. My face is blocking it, but you just click apply, and it will go ahead and apply it. These are the more traditional Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and this is the way it looks, but for those of you guys that really like the anime versions of the cards, you don't even have to download anything. It's all just there, and it's so simple. If you guys have played like Dev Pro or Yu-Gi-Oh Pro, This is a hassle to do because you have to manually change each card, and then when a card gets updated, it's a nightmare because you have to fix that card manually. But now you can see it just looks like the anime. And on top of that, I like personally the Rush variant, and I'm curious to know what you guys think down below on the card layout, because going forward with my Yu-Gi-Oh content, I will use whatever format of the card layout that you guys want. I personally like the Rush Duel. So this is Rush Duel, where the reason why I like it so much is for synchroing. You'll see over on the left over here, it says specifically the level and the attack and defense. Now, if you guys are checking here, you're like, I can't read the full effect. All I have to do is click on the card and I'll be able to go and check the full effect of the card. As I use my scroll wheel, I can scroll down on the card's text. I can also move the card anywhere. In fact, this game has so many awesome features that I have to show you. And you guys might be seeing on the right side, what is that? What is the R? Well, that will make the card rare. We can go to super rare. We can go to ultra rare. We can go to secret rare. Ghost rare, or actually this is ghost rare is the bottom. This is gold rare. Then we have the prismatic rare, and lastly the ghost rare. And you can acquire these as you go ahead and progress in the game. They have like their own form of currency, so you guys can go ahead and have kind of a reason to play this game to unlock some of these things. So that is one feature with the game that is really awesome. And you can do this with anything. Like, it doesn't have to be a card that, only can be ghost rare. Like, for example, if I was to click on extravagance right here and just hold down my left click, or if I'm playing on another device, just hold down your left click or tap, and you can see you can get a ghost rare pot of extravagance. You can get the prismatic rare version of it too. But I'll explain more about that in a second. First thing is kind of explaining how the deck builder works. So if I double click on any of the card, it will remove it, which makes things much easier. And on top of that, let's say I want more copies of evenly matched. Normally in Yu-Gi-Oh games, you'd have to go type in like evenly, and then you'd find evenly matched or whatever, right? But in this, if I want more copies of a card, I can actually hold down the left click and it will generate more copies of that card right here. I don't even have to search for it. It's a really nice feature and it's awesome. I shouldn't really have to explain the side deck or any of those things, but to search for the card, it's pretty easy. You can also filter certain parameters, whether you want to do card type, subtype, attribute. I'm not going to go over that. I feel like that's unnecessary information that most Yu-Gi-Oh players will be able to go ahead and understand. But if you're typing in a card, you can also just double click. If I want to go ahead and add, let's say, this card over here, I can drag and drop, or I can just go ahead and just double click and it'll also go ahead and add the card. So this is totally fine. You can also change the ban list. There is a little option over here at the bottom, which it'll start off, I believe, as unlimited, but you can select OCG, TCG, all that stuff's on the bottom. I'm sorry, my face is right there, but that's the option to go ahead and change that. But there's a lot of other features that I do want to go over here. So if you want to remove all the cards, you want to sort the cards, that's nothing too special. If you want to go and shuffle, kind of check out your starting hand. There's also auto deck over here, which go ahead and finish off the deck for you, which I'm not actually 100% sure how it would actually do that, which is a pretty interesting feature as well. Let me go and actually just remove some cards and then let's see what happens if we hit auto deck. So it'll just fill it up, if that makes sense. I think what it would be fun to do, it's more so if you want to just have some fun with your friends, maybe just double auto deck duels. I think we'll do that as some future content, but those are all the options right here that we have available. But now going into the other part of the interface, you can also import and export your decks. If you want to go ahead and send the deck to your friend, you would do what's called export. And what's going to go ahead and do is give you a bunch of text. And I'm going to go and show you guys kind of what that does. So let me go ahead and just click on this and let's go ahead and export this deck over here. And what it should do is, let me go ahead and actually, I can click on recipe. Actually, there we go. So I can see the entire recipe if I want to screenshot it, maybe send it to a friend or something. You can also click on the cards there. But there is an option. Let me go ahead and, okay, copy to clipboard. There it goes. So what it will do is it will copy a code that you will copy and paste into, let's say, Notepad, or if you're sending it to your friends, maybe on Facebook or anything like that. I'll show you exactly what it looks like. So this is what the code will look like. It's just a bunch of codes. Each card will count as something, and that's the deck. Instead of it being a file that you have to email, this is much easier for, again, if you're copying it on certain applications. It's just faster to send that versus the actual file type, if that makes sense. And you can also do the same thing with the import. If you go ahead and have something copy and pasted, that's the basic functions with that. You can also edit the tags of it and also do what's called the probability, which will go ahead and actually open up another website. It's not going to be built into it, but it will show you the probability for certain things, which I think is really cool. Obviously, you have to export the files. You can also export to a YGO, and then you can do a little bit more with this. If you're testing, this This is more for people that really want to min-max. I won't go into that in this video, so I don't make this video super long, but that's the other feature with this over here. You can also clone the deck if you want to go ahead and do that. And we can rename it. Oh, I already have something. Let me go ahead and clone it and then rename it something different. So Salamangreat 2, and this way, like, I can have another copy of the deck, which actually is kind of nice if you want to be like, you know, I like this build, but I want to try a new build, but I just want to change something. That way you can go back to it, whatever the case may be. All right, so that's like the basics of it. Obviously, there's a little bit more to it, but I'm just trying to make this video not super long. So going into the online section, which actually matters a lot. Now, before you hop into the gameplay, there's a lot of different settings that you guys might want to check out. You can do no graphics. You can go ahead and change out the card layout like I mentioned before. You can also pop out the card. This is, I'm sorry, my face is blocking this, but it says pop up, and you can change how the card looks in the field. Now, I'll show you guys kind of how this works. There's also chat enabled over here. You can make it so it can ask for it. You can change the resolution, all of these things. And there's also auto rock, paper, and scissors, which will just randomize it for you. I'm just going to enable it. I mean, rock, paper, and scissors are RNG anyways, right? But we're going to go ahead and hop right into the online section. I'll show you guys the interface for this. So this is another really cool feature. You'll see the different pages that you guys can see, and you can see the different rules. We have unlimited, we have TCG, we have, of course, people playing in OCG, your different rulings over here. So there is TCG, OCG, and there's the other mode, DL. And then if you want to host a game, this is what you can go ahead and do, depending on how you want to play. And if you want to play manual duels, that's also an option. There's so many different ways. There's the manual duel, you can do the puzzle, there's Destiny Draw, there's literally every format in this game is supported, which makes this game, you know, obviously one of the best for a lot of people, and that's why most people were super excited when I first like announced this game, in terms of like I was able to show off what I could. You can also change the custom game properties. This is totally fine. You can only allow cards from a certain date, you know, which is kind of cool as well. And again, you can change all of your stuff right here on the host section. If you're looking to go ahead and play, and I'll show you the deck that you have. That's the one in the star, which this is the one I had on default, I guess. And then you can also search for a game that has all those parameters that you're looking for. You can do custom, whatever the case may be. I'm going to go ahead and hop into a spectate in a second, but there's also this ranking section. If you click on it, it'll open up the leaderboards for another, you know, I'll show you guys kind of what it looks like over here. But that's what the ranking system will look like. And then on top of that, you also have tournament, and there's also the shop over here, which has this like other form of currency that you'll be able to get as rewards. I know they want to do like special quests and events, like certain like win conditions. If you do that, you'll get like bonus points. I'm not going to dip into this too much. Again, I'm trying to condense this video because I did mention I want you guys to watch all of it, as this is a form of it. And there's also themes that you can get in the game as well. This is going to open up the website, and I'll show you these other themes that you can go over. Again, I'll probably make a specific video on it, but basically it's kind of the background of the game, and these are really cool 3D like moving backgrounds. But I know a lot of you guys just like, just show me that gameplay. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and spectate this duel over here. So I'm going to go ahead and click spectate. It'll show you all of the rules. And then you guys can kind of see how the interface works and the explanations of kind of the basics of it. I want to show, it's pretty much the same as all the YuGiOh games, but this little like phase thing over here is in the center, so it's kind of nice and clean. And you know, just like any YuGiOh game, you go to battle phase, main phase 2, end phase. But I want to kind of explain some of the things that are in the middle of the game over here. So you can change the way that the game looks. There's this option to go ahead and have the YuGiOh game play the way that you want to, whether you prefer like the top-down, like bird's eye view, or if you like this 3D view where it's not necessarily bird's eye, it's kind of like this isometric over here. And I really like the cards in 3D, but if you don't like that, go ahead and go into the settings, and you can go ahead and change over those. If you don't like that little card pop-up, you can just say none and hit apply. And then you can go ahead and when you go ahead and load the next game, these won't be in like 3D. I think it looks personally cool, but also on the left side over here, you'll see the card. I can drag to resize this. I can drag the card anywhere and it will remain there. If I want it on the right side, want on the left side, I'm just going to move it here because this is what I like, is kind of how I have my setup. But if I want to go ahead and drag to resize, you can go ahead and change the size of it. If I want my opponent's life points, you know, like maybe right here, I want my life points right here, I can do that. This is why I love this application for content creators, because some of us like to have the cams in different locations, and being able to customize the game as much as possible is definitely something that I would be interested in. Just like being able to see like the graveyard, you can see by clicking on it, and he's activating something that's going to go ahead and if I just click on this, you can always hit escape to go ahead and remove whatever is like in the selection, if that makes any sense. So like if I click on here, you might notice, okay, there's no like close button. How do you close this? I mean, very basic things like that in that game, I guess. One of them just went ahead and said GG. There, I guess side decking, there's a time limit for that, but we're just going to go ahead and close it out right here. And so that would give you a basic understanding of kind of the ins and outs of it, as this is, the whole point of this video is to show off the settings and like kind of what you can do in the game. Now, that's basically going to go ahead and cover the basics of it. I might make a video in the future going over like a part 2. If you guys have any questions, definitely let me know in the comment section below, as I'm trying to make this video as short as possible, but I wanted to explain things because there's a lot of people that are going to the settings. How does your game look like this? How do you get this? How, if you want to change the hologram size, all that thing that you would want to change is in the settings menu. And if there's any bugs that you guys do see, you can comment down below. I have a direct line with some of the people that do work on this game, and I can go ahead and give them suggestions, and you know, if you can explain as much thorough detail, and that way I can relay the information to them and get that information out so it is available. But anyways, that's how you go ahead and activate your YuGiOh Omega game in the beta stage. But let me know, guys, what you think of it in the comment section below, and I'll definitely be covering this game in the future, and I'll try to get more gameplay and stuff for you guys going in the future with this, as far as like replays and stuff. Those are all also managed by like the copy and paste, but that's like the basics of it, and that way you guys can get started and playing. But again, everything will be pinned down below if you guys want to go and check it out. But thanks for tuning, guys, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it, and if you are new here and you do want to go ahead and see more new YuGiOh content in the future, hit subscribe, turn the bell, and you'll definitely see more very soon. But take care, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video. I'm signing out. Peace.